Checking in with current affairs. The balance of being overwhelmed and staying empowered. So I'm making this video because for most of my teenage years I was staying up to date with current affairs, watching the news, seeing everything online, and I was severely depressed and overwhelmed and cynical, and I had no way of putting these feelings into a way that could make me feel empowered. It left me in a position of dysregulation, and from that space no productivity could be made in any area of my life. And I think where we're at currently with global affairs and with online activism and just the general feeling of helplessness that comes with how much shit is going on, I think it's very important that we're staying regulated and we're staying empowered. And in saying that, we're not jumping from the other end of the spectrum and checking out, dissociating, escaping, pretending that none of it's happening. For a wee while there, I've been on both ends of the spectrum, and checking back in after checking out can be so overwhelming and so scary and so painful. But I think that the true power we have as people is to come together in unity. When we are aware of what's going on, we can come together in intentional action. 1, to make change. 2, to support each other mentally and emotionally, so that 3, we can co-regulate and balance this fine line of educated action and too much information. So I think it's important to be aware of how much information you're taking in on the daily. Is it helping you? Be intentional about how you're living your life and how your impact on the world is affecting everything else, or is it causing you to want to shrivel into a ball and pass away? Naturally, we're gonna ebb and flow through both. It's not gonna be an easy path of just oh yeah, we're just gonna do this and it's gonna be great and it's gonna be so easy. No, we're in hard times, no doubt about that. But I think, yeah, I don't know if maybe somebody needed to hear this. I know that this is just kind of what I've been reflecting on recently, since checking back in with the world and the current state of everything. There is a sense of empowerment in it, is what I think is important to realize. I think that all of us have a role to play. All of us have innate gifts and skills and hobbies and things that we're good at, no matter what it is, and no matter what your profession is or what you're currently doing with your life. There are small decisions that you make that can go towards the greater cause, and that's why it's important, so that you have your anchor, you have your cause, you have your purpose, you have just a greater perspective on things outside of your own house. It's really easy to look at everything and just think that there's nothing that you can do. There's nothing at all. But now more than ever, we have access to technology that can connect us, that can unite us, and it's the thing that's either going to be our greatest downfall as a generation, or it's going to be our greatest strength. And I think it's really important that we're using it wisely. So that's kind of my main point, is don't let it distract you, don't let it dysregulate you. Yes, stay informed, stay educated, but also it's not all doom and gloom. There's so much good. But let the bad shit motivate you and push you forward to becoming even better and to doing the most that you can do, so that you can look back when you're 80 or 90 years old and look at the state of the world then and think, wow, like, I did my best. And don't forget the magic. This whole evil in the world that's going on, all of it is just the suppression of life and love and magic. Think about the kind of indestructibleness you felt as a kid when you just had this innate knowing of the infinite. You know, like anything was possible. And then there was just this point in most of us where that just was pushed completely down. And it's not gone, it's still there, but we need to be able to access that again to be able to feel like we can actually achieve something in our lives. And not just like on a massive global scale, but even just for ourselves, for our goals, for our dreams, and for the happiness that we actually deserve. Stay magical. Be as weird and wild as possible, because the more that you're just being yourself, the more that you're being as free as you can, the more that you're actually rebelling against, the things that want you to stay like everything else and stay as it is in the system. So yeah, I don't know if you needed to hear this or not. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't, maybe you needed reminding, maybe I just needed to say it. Either way, thanks for listening. Love you.